Good evening. Hashtag my global family. This is Dre Abeita, Coyote walking in this world and real life Atlanta Pueblo superhero. And we are here for our pre-service check-in. Hashtag badass indigenous cannabis queens. Hashtag medical marijuana matriarchs. Hashtag modern indigenous warrior women. Because you know, family, that the International Abeita Consulting Group is so proud to present this brand new spot with my amazing sister and co-host, Eileen Shendo, who does not need any introduction, family, because she is a powerhouse all on her own. So, sis, remind me, what is the name of our new spot?
Okay, good evening. Happy Valentine's Day. Let's get to hashtag real talk, intersections of indigeneity. Indigeneity. My bad, girlfriend. There's so much excitement and there's so much cannabis going around. But let's get back to that medical marijuana trauma education and advocacy, hosted by the one and only Dre Abeita, hashtag Coyote Walking, and myself, Eileen Shendo, as mentioned, hashtag Pueblo Women Rising, hashtag cultivating a new status quo, and hashtag, as always, Seated Sisters. Glad to join you this evening. I am taking my medication with a little bit of hybrid this Sunday evening. When we get inside, I'll let you know exactly what, but I'm happy to share with you, sister. I'm out here celebrating with Arizonians and their new approval of recreational use of medical marijuana, and, you know, sharing the love, spreading the seed. I'm here to generate that love with them, and it's just beautiful. So great to be here.
I love it. And sister, as tradition, I have to bring out my buddy T2 here. You know, I love him. I gotta clean him, poor baby. Do you have a favored water pipe that you like? That's your kind of go-to friend?
My little friend is there with me upon our travels.
Oh, really?
Motivating me. She is feminine and she is feminine power, all in that. She's a handheld, I like to
Oh,
say. I love her. And so next episode, I'll be sure to bring her.
oh, I can't wait to meet her. I have T2 here with my favorite rig, Mr. Monopoly. My propane beauty here. Again, family, you can get this at any hardware store. Please be careful, right? I don't have anything near me, so I'm not gonna, knock on wood, burn anything. Going to my rig, family, and I am aiming for the center of this piece here, and that is where I will drop my butane hash oil, or BHO. And I went back to shatter, family. I almost finished the rest of that crumble. But shatter, like I said, I prefer it because of the consistency, right? When you break it apart, you have to be careful. But for me, it's a little bit easier to kind of drop it in the bowl. Do you have a preference, my dear beautiful sister? Do you partake with butane hash oil?
Not necessarily.
Got it. No worries. Um,
it's it's a more of a social setting on that aspect. I'm new to that. I'm new to, honestly, I always tell people I'm a dinosaur in that era, old school blunts and joints, and that's kind of what I prefer. Um, but I think it's always exciting to open the conversation to all the remedies and uses and products that come from that beautiful plant, and the different ways that we are able to inhale the wonders of the medicine. Exactly.
love it. And I'm always telling them about my little tricks too. So I don't know about you, but every once in a while, right? I can't finish a whole bowl right now. I have to blow my nose. Allergies are killing me. So I'll stick a tissue in the top of my favorite piece. And it's not a forever fix family. I mean, but it gives me like 30 seconds, right? A few moments, because we know that this medication is incredibly expensive. Oh my gosh, family. On this amazing day of love, right, my partner and I were kind of laughing. He was like, "You mean the consumer capitalist driven holiday that basically," and he went off on his thing. And I was like, "Yes, baby, that's the day." I love his cynicalism with capitalist America, because we all need to
I
have.
need that. We all need that.
Hell yeah. So we were like, all right, it's gonna be chicken wing day and doing, some cuddle time and some Netflix. How about you, sis? How did you spend this amazing family love day with your loved ones? Because you're on the road. Tell us about
On the road. Sorry for the back shot, but we're in Arizona right now. My day was spectacular with the three loves of my life. My little handsome man, my little warriors, my baby actually always bringing us out into Arizona for some reason. The last time we were here was in Goodyear. He was here for a track and field event. So I love him for that. He's like always taking us on a random journey. So he's here on a baseball tournament, and we woke up. I spent our morning, I actually woke up at one of my homegirls' house. It's my best friend since high school, lives out here. So I spent last evening with her. So the morning started off great. Sister Love started off my morning. Got to my boys. I got to go shop around and get them some Valentine's Day gifts. And actually, what was special about it was really being able to remind them this time. I had written them a poem on my birthday. My birthday was back in November 26th. And so I told them about it because they went hunting. It's their tradition. So this year just happened, Thanksgiving landed on my birthday, which is actually what happened when I was born. I was born on Thanksgiving. So
wow.
Yeah, it was like full circle with my children to really understand that whole cycle of life. And I'm always, in their minds about that other means of the metaphysical and just, who we are as Pueblo people. So anyways, we're sitting here in Arizona, and I told them, I said, I got them because it was a poem really about like their journey and their footsteps. I got them like little slippers and got them some of their best treats, and I reminded them that it's not money. These things aren't, this was like your husband said, it's a man-made holiday. This was conceptualized for monetary means to go spend. But what really matters is to have family, and explaining to them generational methods of love that we had always had, but in this generation, such a need for their attention to have like these kind of things, the gift givings and the showing, the money spending. And I told them, in our generation where I was raised a lot on my grandparents, it was always about presence. Love was showed upon being there. We never really said I love you, but I knew in the amount of my family's presence in all my endeavors, like that was love. And so I reminded them, just that to be reminded they always are loved, no matter how we see life. And as they're growing up and they're young men and they're enticed by all these different things, like, we were too. Just reminding them it's not money. It's what it takes. And I told them like what it took to wake up this morning and just get every little thing that you love, the smallest things that don't even cost much. You know what I mean? And so anyways, they were like, and I was like, it's the thought that counts, because as young men, I want them to treat their women or their families with that kind of compassion and commitment. So it's all about modeling it and having those conversations. So my Valentine's Day was just really beautiful. They're grown men, 14, 13, and soon to be 12. So the journey with them is really strong, but they're, very conscious. They're very loving. And so cheering on a game, my son pitched for the first time. So as a mother, you're like, where did that come from? That's some strikeouts and just being together. And their support from last night's live session to knowing like what mom does and having those conversations on the side of the ball field. That was it was a great day. How was your
family? I'm sorry. Before we get to my day, I have to tell you have to tell the story, sis. Like family, I was so jazzed. So first of all, this amazing lady is not only on the road, family. She's on the fucking road supporting her badass family, her amazing kiddos, and she's working tonight, by the way. But how did that happen? This coyote was not thinking. And I'm like, everyone works every single day, holidays, Sundays, midnight. And so, you guys, poor thing. Not only did she bring it on the badass panel we had yesterday for subject matter experts on medical marijuana legislation in New Mexico, poor thing. She's on the road with her family and they're doing Valentine's Road. And me thoughtlessly like, hey, what are you doing in 4 hours? To be my new co-host. So family, kudos to my amazing sister and now badass partner in crime and plans for world domination, right? But tell them you have to share the story. She called me and she was so excited about being able to share our academic and literal, we were creating educational material, family. That is what I do. I'm a scholar, an activist, a researcher, an Ivy League graduate. Please look out for my chapter that came out in DO Press in October. It was the necessary narratives of the Corona Chronicles, necessary narratives during COVID. So I was so amazed at how this woman in front of us was able to articulate and move our souls last night, family, by sharing her story. And this morning, I was like, I need this woman in my life. I think Gabby sent me angels, but please, sis, share the story because you were sharing your work with your family. And that really, it felt for me, it felt like a turning point in our little lives. And once you're a part of my family, sis, I'm sorry, but it's hard to let you go because you're so awesome.
how much time do we have? No, just kidding. And we're on the segment too, so I'll be reminded. But in reference to medical marijuana, and also I do want to say I'm here in Arizona where one of my best friends from
like sharing your mom. Like I wanted you to share the story with your mom too. I mean, like I wanted you to share everything, sis, but that like made me like super happy for like the next 20 years. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just saying my best friend from high school just walked in and she knows the whole journey of me and my mom and marijuana or just the whole presence. She'll be coming. She's getting ready for the camera. I'm gonna put her on.
More sisters, family. More sisters.
Another amazing Pueblo woman living out here in Arizona. Her son was in he's in a basketball tournament this weekend. So, but always just supporting each other and working with each other, being with each other. This is my friend Dre and Abeita. Hi. This is Xavier Divine. Isn't that such a beautiful name?
I love it. Nice to meet you, Xavier. How are you? I'm Dre.
And here's her son, Isaiah.
Hi, Isaiah.
How are you? That's a little Laguna boy making big moves out here in Arizona.
We look forward to seeing all the great things you're doing, young man. Sure, you know that, right? Oh, hell. You're going to run for president, right? Or governor? How about senator?
He's for sure when I'm governor, I'll call you.
All these amazing aunties now, kiddo. I'm just letting you know.
He's already getting a phone call. He needs his own time. I'm just kidding. Grandma time. Before we start on that story, so I rolled, and that's what I was happy to practice in the state of Arizona was pineapple cookies. Pineapple cookies will take us on our journey about my mom and marijuana. Um,
Can you
no,
sorry, I got
I
distracted.
really thought about it, and you know what was funny, and I called her this morning just really excited about how the whole episode went, and I was like, Mom, so you know how because what I brought up yesterday in just kind of like a bit and piece was about how the stigmas of marijuana really separated and divided I think even my parents, what their values were and what they could and couldn't do. You know, I know my now as an adult, just very stringent and very rigid expectations my family comes from on my father's side about leadership, and we always had people in positions of leadership that meant, you know, that respect was due. So and a lot of times certain things compromise that or weren't really like, and they're young, you know, these guys are 16 at this time, so they're trying to figure that out. Not really, you know, they weren't even thinking about it. So it just really didn't give them much of a stronghold to begin with. And I think my mom and her practice of it. And now, like I said, I really took college to understand as a woman what mentally and behaviorally she was going through. And at this point, I thank her. And I've gone to those conversations about, you know, thank you for making the best decision for me as a 16-year-old. My grandpa was an alcoholic. He started drinking as soon as my grandmother, my mom's mom, passed away. She was 12 years old at the time. She at that time raised her siblings, which were, you know, four others, so there were five of them. And my grandpa, I say, became a functional alcoholic because he was a strong educator. He still stayed a job Monday through Friday, fully sober. I saw this growing up, and just from Saturday to Sunday, and really not much Saturday, but Sundays, he would sit in service on TV and just start drinking, and you know, really to a point of probably just um in that coping but numbing all the hurt. You know, he's a really great man, never remarried. He just was at a broken heart for my loss of my grandmother. So um my mom and family really, you know, my mom and other support stepped in. So to me now I realize, like, when you think about that kind of hardship and what you're going through as a 12-year-old, and then becoming a mother at 16 and making the choice, first of all, like I give her that all the time now, like, you're so strong and courageous to just take the chance, you know. And that was me.
Make the world go round. I'm so sorry. I forgot to say goodbye to your friend. Can you?
Oh, she's here. They're in a conversation. Yeah. But you know, so that was really for us. This is a moment of healing because to normalize it and see it as a medicine is what she was using and practicing. But without the understanding and the stigmas, it separated, you know, what love they had because of such forces to be very polarized. Um, so anyways, now, and she's always, you know, held her ground. She stayed steadfast. It's like, you know, this is my medicine. And so I think I get a lot of my, you know, from her in that sense too, because it's important. And growing up, because of alcoholism in my family and losing my grandpa and losing a lot, just marijuana was the choice because it was, you know, when you do indulge in alcohol, it's like at that time it just shouldn't be. And so, right, like when we brought up yesterday, for a lot of young people, it's a healing, but without the right conversations, it can be you know, detrimental to a young person. So that's where the aid, like I said, of educators, social workers, people that are in these realms to have a one-on-one with young people need to be open to the conversation. Um, or should be, not need to be, but should be. Uh, and so I think it's just a first step in a few to be open to say, hey, mom, let's talk about weed. And what I told her, I was like, so I totally could see us like sitting on an episode together and have like had an edible or smoke. I know she wouldn't do it on camera, and I respect that for anyone because it takes a point of readiness, like even talking with my son about our episodes, and just this afternoon or morning he was like, Mom, did you smoke when you were on camera? And I was like, oh my God, yes. Because I put the back screen of the Northern Lights. And I was like, not only did I smoke, but because the Northern Lights had this like thing going on, I said it looked like when I spoke, I had green smoke coming out of my mouth. So
Well, and that's the best thing about the internet, it's there forever. And that's why we're doing this work, right? We're creating educational materials that actually change people's minds, right? That's
and
why we dab on camera all the time. That's why I love being a medical marijuana researcher as well.
And I think it's important to emphasize the importance of legalized use because it for everyone who is a user, it supports us in the best way possible. And I think for everyone who's trying to see it as their choice of medicine, it only helps to carry the best of the nature and how you use it, how you talk to your children if you have it. Even like we pointed out last night, I was like, make a copy of your card because if you're going to and from somewhere, just to always have in a glove box and make sure you're secure is just being responsible with the legal right we have been given, and making sure that we can continue that right for others. So my mom is not ready fully yet, I think, to be on, but I like that I could talk to her about it and she was like, like it was a no.
And that's so important too, how we talk to our parents about this, because I mean, the young man over here, he is literally a hugely intelligent person with his own thoughts and feelings and has been walking around the world for 12 years.
Yeah.
12 years. Yes, I used to teach 6th grade. You would have been in my class. And you guys are hella smart already. They're like, we know, Mom, we know, Miss, because I was always Miss, right? And we can have difficult conversations with them because they already are hip. They already know what's going on. They're waiting for us to catch up. Sorry, kiddo. I'm not speaking for you. I'm sorry. Maybe I was. But I mean, you have an opinion too. What do you think, kiddo? Do you think it's time for adults to just pull the stick out of their butts and say, hey, it's okay to smoke weed? I mean, if that's okay, Mom, if it's okay for him to correspond, I'm sorry.
Ask Mom.
I don't even think he's.
I hasn't even do the full conversation. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's all right. It's all right. He's got things on his mind.
He didn't understand the question. If you could say the question.
Oh, sure. What do you think, kiddo? Do you think it's time for adults to make change with laws and how we look about how we think about weed? Because sometimes it's a medicine, right? Like Auntie, hey, I'm Dre, I'm your new auntie.
Oh, good. He said no, it depends on how you use it.
See, already smarter than me, you guys. Already smarter than me. But what the work that we're doing right now, like I am becoming a hashtag influencer on social media. So I'm trying to spread the word to other people because I'm getting my PhD. So all of my research as an indigenous warrior. So I'm a proud Pueblo woman, kiddo. So I'm literally one of your aunties. I taught at Laguna Middle School for 3 years.
Ooh, what year?
What year?
It was from 2005 to 2008.
Do you know Jonathan Hill?
No.
Oh, actually, no. He might have been older then. Oh, no. Sorry. I'm making my brother younger than that. Never mind.
It was my first job out of college, you guys, and I was a horrible teacher. It was really bad. I was learning. I'm so sorry, you guys.
You weren't born in 05.
Yeah, but I was born in 08.
Oh, yeah, you were born in 08. He graduated in 08. Never mind. Just kidding.
She got second hand. Just kidding.
Very possible. I always wonder about that, you guys. My mom,
No, she
Never.
didn't. She
I've
did.
never,
Catholic woman, or she
Listen to that.
Oh.
She never
I've
smoked.
never got secondhand. No, I've smoked. I've
Oh,
never
I mean-
got secondhand.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Dude, I'm like, are you sure? Because I've been around people that smoke a lot, and I'm like, I don't feel any different. I've smoked, so I know what it's like to feel high. And
Nice.
I've never had a secondhand.
Never. I think it's a lot, or maybe like blowing in your face, like directly, or hotboxing, like a lot. I don't know.
Don't ever do this that we're talking about.
Sorry. Educational. We're making educational video. Just kidding. I mean, we are, but we're also part comedy show, part real life, part
Real talk. Real talk. Hashtag real talk.
for real. I mean, this is also like, how awesome is it, you guys, that we can talk about this on the internet in 2021?
Well, they're excited here in Arizona because they just legalized it. So
recreational or medical, or has it's always been medical, right?
Now they had medical, now it's recreational.
Damn it, you guys, Arizona beat us. What the hell?
they're kind of scary here though, because where we're staying, there's airplanes flying right over us. I felt like I was gonna
that's because the airport is
have
right.
a car.
You're close to the
I was
airport.
like, is this plane crashing?
Yeah, the airport. You're literally the airport. So this is the landing area for when they landed.
My mom's first question was like, are you high? I was like, no, Mom, I'm gonna send you a picture. These planes are literally flying right over us. And I'm driving, so I'm looking around at people like, is this plane gonna crash? And this lady's running, and these other two are just talking. And I'm like, wow, this is normal. I live in San Isidro. I get mad at the ones that are coming from the base.
Can you speak a little bit more to the law that just got passed?
Here in Arizona?
Yeah, I don't know anything about it, sis. You know,
well, I don't know it in Arizona, but what I do know is that it's recreationalized it. So now anyone, I believe possibly, is it 18? 21?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
When I've gone to the stores here, there's a line.
Next episode, sis, remind me. I'll look that up and we'll tell people in our next episode.
She's gonna look it up. And what I've noticed in going to the few dispensaries here is that they have a line that says 21 and over. So I'm assuming maybe for those that are medical.
They actually have two lines also for medical and for recreational. So they give priority now to medical, and then recreational will come in after.
As do should.
Oh, that was pretty quick. Holy moly.
So it's exciting for people in Arizona. And again, just normalizing it.
21.
21. That makes sense. I don't know of any state actually that's had 18 yet. I think 21's, because in my mind, it's mostly associated with the legal drinking limit. It's like 21 is the magical time that apparently, your body.
You can make. I mean, as a parent, you want that kind of protection, because unless it's really medically in that critical use needed for my kids, because of the use for myself and normalizing the use of my friends and people who do it in a respectful manner, and never, around my children, but in, it's a normal house conversation. And so I think just making sure that their physical growth has allowed to take course, the brain, everything that needs to form itself. And for young men, it's different. It could be older. I always remind them they're athletes. This will always be around. It's always been. And I also remind them that, you know, my father, for example, and like Xavier, the choices of people who don't need to smoke at all. And so there's that choice, and always remember that, and don't feel bad if that's your choice. I don't feel that. I feel because of, you know, my prescribed use of it is for anxiety, PTSD. And so my role, I feel, as a mother is to create as much protections as this new generation for my children, so that there isn't that need and necessity, especially as early on, because they're being allowed to bring up safe but also conscious, aware, and also direct, because lies never help in those situations. I think with families, it was really amazing to see Anna and Angelica talk about that. And just, I told my mom, I said, Mom, they use the term healing. So like, you know, instead of feeling nervous about like, let's go have a smoke because of how that sounds, like, let's go heal. Like, just change the lingo. And so she just, you know, again, like I said, her readiness will come too, but at the same time, um, I have a lot of family with substance abuse use, addiction to prescribed pills, and that's not because of choice. It was a brain surgery, and that led to just a full-on dependency to very hard meds. And once she couldn't get nothing through, you know, obviously the doctors, it was just and there's not a lot of attention paid, especially on the reservation. And so there was no counseling, there was no further rehabilitation, and it just led hardcore to street drugs because it's cheap, it's easy, and people make it accessible, and on top of all the other, you know, personal hardships that might have been going. So if marijuana, and again, you don't have to just smoke it, you can cook with it, I mean, on salads and like in oils. It doesn't just have to be a brownie. You know, I've seen it in salmon as a glazed candy. You know, there's just so many realms to help different people. And you know, I was telling a young woman, they have is it called suppositories? Correct?
Yeah,
Suppositories. There's a lot of females that have hard menstrual cramps, and women have used that to and you know, inject directly so that it numbs, I mean, not numbs, but basically it heals. So in the use of THC, it, you know, connects to these pain inhibitors, and so it helps to, that's, you know, the effect of what's going on to the body. And so that direct absorption into your stream, especially for women. And I was, you know, I get, you know, full on 7 days. Oh, like I would kind of love it in high school because I'm like, Dad, I'm on my period and I cannot function for 7 days. Like, I don't even want to walk.
Oh no.
As a single father, he'd always be like, so you want me to just call the school and tell him you're out for the week? Yes, yes, yes. But you got to be a good student. I was always a good student, so they understood, and it was just funny to mess with my dad too at those times. Like, he didn't know how to have the conversation. Poor thing.
I mean, on the record, have you guys tried that cup? And Henrik and I were talking about that because there's like the no waste. It's like a silicone. I don't know if it's silicone or whatever, but it's like a cup. And so you like make it in a tulip shape or whatever, and then it goes in, and then you like pull it out and you rinse it out. I mean, I tried it. I have to create the habit. I haven't. It's more comfortable than like a tampon. But
it's like a rubber ring, and then when you bend it, you push it in, and it's supposed to sit over your cervix. So then when you have your menstrual, it's supposed to go into the cup. I heard it was good.
What does it do that
but
for though?
when you're on your period, it's to cut it just so you don't have to use tampons and stuff like that.
Oh,
it does. It collects in a cup.
But I heard it was messy trying to get it out. So
Yeah.
I've never tried it.
You have just relax.
Just not loosening it up.
I had to give myself a pep talk one time. I was like, I can do this, you guys. I can do this.
If you gotta take a pep talk, I stick with a big old fat pad.
Granny, you guys. And then, because I do a lot more cardio, I was just like, damn it. I'm just going to be a grown up and put a towel. Why is that too? I feel like during my childhood, it was like you were a grown up if you could work a tampon. And I'm just like, all right.
It's a process.
You guys, my cat. I have to show you this. This cat is like being a psycho on the floor. Can you see her butt? Steffi, what are you doing? Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys. She like attacked the box and like went flying. She's so weird. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we should conclude our spot, you guys, because I still have to do church and poor Neil is somewhere.
Yes. Bye, Neil. Have a good night, Neil. I can't wait to meet you.
Go down the line real quick. What is either something that you want that's going to be awesome for 2021? And then number 2, as we leave, we're talking about why we love medical marijuana, right? Why we became advocates, because that's what my amazing sister and new co-host Eileen is. So let's just go down the road real quick, family, and finish the closing. If you would love to tell our amazing audience, again, a hope for the new year and why you became an advocate, or why you would support our lovely sister or family in her advocacy work.
So I'm actually, for 2021, I'm about self-care. That's my goal, is I'm trying to change, and I'm a loving person, and I think about everybody else, and I put myself last. So I'm trying to get out of the habit of doing that and putting myself first after my son. My son, of course, is first priority, and and then, do for me. So that's my goal for 2021, is self-care, self-love, all about me. Time to be selfish in a good way, though. Mm-hmm. So, and then I'm a supporter of medical marijuana. A miracle.
It is a miracle.
Same thing. Medical marijuana. Because I've seen firsthand. I've known people that have used it for cancer. Of course, the glaucoma. The main things. And then I actually wrote a paper about it in one of my English classes before, about like HIV patients, for example. They take all these medications and they tend to not want to eat, and that's why they get the low body weight. So they smoke marijuana, so that brings their appetite back. So then that's one less thing that they have to suffer from, is not getting the nutrients from their meals. And so I see a lot of the good in medical marijuana, and why not embrace it and do it more and support it more. So
I think you're right with the miracle.
Yes. So, and it is better than, some of the, it's not like, I'm also a pharmacy tech, so I see a lot of the side effects that you see on other medications, and, down 10 years down the line, if you took this medicine for this, where it's natural, there, you don't see this, that if you smoke weed, then you're going to have this and this and this, and potentially this. It's not a long list of, what could go wrong by you taking this medication. So I think that's a positive too, is not having to worry about all of those negative side effects.
I'm a huge believer. I had gastric bypass and only did weed. And that was horrible. It was hurt. It hurt. It's so, because they take off most of your intestines, like rearrange stuff. So much tincture, you guys. I was like, oh my gosh, edibles. But yeah, no, I believe you, sis. Oh my gosh, sis. Eileen, please bring Miss Divine, did I get that right? To our meetings. We meet twice a month for the Badass Woke Woman Wednesdays, the third Wednesday at 7. And we do art. We have art journals. And then the first Saturday of every month at 7 o'clock, we do journaling activities.
Hear that, ladies?
Yes, that's for everyone, but especially you. Please come and visit with us. Come play with us. And then we also do panels. So hello, Miss Advocate. Hello. We are gonna do wonderful things, ladies. Always, always, and forever. Miss Eileen, you have the last word, lady. Oh, I'm sorry, young man. My new nephew. Before Miss Eileen has the last word, would you like to tell our lovely audience anything, your aspirations, what you would like to see happen this new year, and or if you have any opinion on medical marijuana?
What do you want to do? Anything?
Work hard.
Work hard and play hard.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, good luck, young man. It was nice meeting you. What was your name again? I'm sorry, sir.
Isaiah.
Isaiah. It was nice meeting you, Isaiah. I'm your Auntie Dre. I will be seeing you later because your mom and I are now sisters and friends. So I'll be checking in though. But don't worry, I also send Christmas presents.
Like that. You'll like that.
He got a big old smile.
GameStop gift cards. I'll get your email later. No, for real. Send me your email. All right, sis, you have the last word, your aspirations for the new year, and why you love medical marijuana.
Aspirations, solidifying family first, just making sure that all that time goes there, any extra time. There's so much, like you saw, there's movement, and sometimes even just the movement, even though being with family doesn't mean you necessarily have deep conversations. And like I mentioned today, what Valentine's meant and my young man becoming young men, just really focusing on that. And I saw a hashtag that I started, really connecting with was the hashtag mompreneur, because on the side of myself, myself is my, business and my social enterprise to want to work with other women, and making sure that that's at top notch is also making sure that myself is at that point where I want to be, not to other standards, but what makes me happy, what fulfills my day, what lets me rest easy. Simple things like telling my kids at 8:30, you are putting every single media device on the kitchen table. Like, they don't even get nothing. Like, no. Disassociating the idea, because sometimes, they get a little anxious to get on that Fortnite. And I have a hard time saying no right now, because really, and you got to limit the social media in that sense. But like through the pandemic, I hear them talk. I like to hear them talk with their friends from Hamas, because they'll be talking in Hamas, and I'm like, hey, that's your secret code. Like, use that. I get to see my uncle with my little nephew and cousin SJ, and the boys connect with them, and my cousins out in Farmington. So, but at the same time, having that conversation about don't be playing with no grown man, and don't be talking to people you don't know around this world, because that's real stuff also happening. So, again, that family solidifying means being in top awareness of that too. They have a little sign in their bathroom that says, a worried mother does better research than the FBI. Like, yes. And our role is to worry beyond 100%. And so just making sure that, me as a mom is happy, me as Eileen is happy. That's first foremost. And then for that, the dreams and aspirations will continue, and just being about our community, being ready to talk about certain issues that really look at it from a collective but very like urgent manner. So I'm excited. There's a lot of hard work. And in the area of medical cannabis, for everyone that's in New Mexico, log in New Mexico, nmlegis.gov. And you can key search cannabis Right now, yesterday it was in, I want to say maybe Health and Human Services Committee, but you can write to any of these committee members in which they've already had to go through, because it's going to hit the Senate floor eventually, if it keeps going. And you want to let your legislators know, as a friend, as an advocate, as a caretaker, as a parent, as a user, as a current card carrying co-supporter for any future moves forward, and also being ready to have conversations about being okay to be taxed. There was discrepancy when, first of all, they were like, there's no tax. I'm like, what? How do they expect to make money off this? Like, I think I was paying an extra like $15 to $20 here in Arizona for tax. But when you look at wanting to support the industry, where do you put your money? And so being conscious about it, make a budget. Don't be, crazy, especially if you do have a family, feed your family first. But make sure that you do have and take care of it responsibly as a medicine, because there's ways to just self-heal. And also I love and I'm excited for this conversation and series. And right now is the growing season for everyone that's going to start growing their own foods. That's happening, and it's just new time, refreshed and re-energized. So ready. I'm excited for being ready.
Love it.
And I love cannabis because it takes you to the best people in the world. That's how we connected. I started watching your stream and just empowered by your story to share your story, hashtag her story. That's part of my own journey. And so I've always loved not only the ability to see, not only, we all have places of privilege, and we're also blessed with certain skills and talents. And when you can recognize those privileges and use it to the benefit of others is really where I think it makes sense on why you're at your place and where you're at. And so it's not always happy. It's not always sunny and shiny. But being an advocate means that you withstand that. And I take everything in with, some kind of lesson learned and a deeper recognition to why it's happening. As Indigenous people, we see that even tenfold, I believe, and that's the connection we as a universe need right now. So just taking that conversation to this level is exciting. And I think holistically for everyone, self-healing, self-time is what was seen right now. Our Mother Earth saw a lot of healing, and just, can you imagine how much society just stopped for a bit, to just let her rest? So there's a lot of loss, but there's also growth in that loss. I've lost a lot of really good, close people. Sometimes I wonder why, and I think so many people suffer from that, not really even crying fully yet, and because it's so fast, and it's like, man, did that really happen? And so let's join each other, because there's going to be a time when we shed those tears, and there's going to be a time we release. And I've had people in my life that have just been there with me, expressing it. And so I thank people. My sister, this is new time. And like that, when you put time into yourself, it was like, let's go be our women and our self as where we're at in life and enjoy this time together. As she said, a lot of time as women, it falls into other people. And so I like to quantify one, as a woman, and as a woman who seeks that partnership and that love, you really also have to be honest about how much time and attention goes in and what's exerted for the right reasons and not. And so being on a level to be like, and like, let's focus to where, like I said, family first, and what comes from that to all the others will just do in time be right. So I'm excited for just letting that and having faith in it to take its course. Living on faith.
Said it better myself. Love you so much, sis. Thank you for all of the.
We're headed out. We gotta go eat and feed the superstar here. My kids should be coming back from their pool party, and yeah, just thank you. Happy Valentine's Day. Continue to spread the love and joy. Thank you for who you are.
Oh, driving back.